Welcome in. Come tell a friend about your Wakanda RN. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm glad to be here today. So, we got a few things to talk about. It is Money in the Bank weekend where I'm at. I'm a huge WWE fan, so if you know, you know. So, let's go ahead and get started, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a blessed day. So, let's get started with our first topic. It is nurses and why they date down. And so, I actually got a video to show you guys, you know what I'm saying? Got a video to show you guys. Why do you think nurses date down? If that's even true. You know what I'm saying? We got it. A young lady
I don't
here
know why, but
brings
we
her
do.
perspective, so let's hear what she has to say.
Dating as a nurse is so funny because you would think that nurses attract men with money, but no. We attract the bums, we attract the drug dealers, the scammers, the jailbirds. I don't know why, but we do. Dating.
All right. So we see that, right? All right. Okay. So she's saying that she doesn't understand why nurses date down. And the reason I feel as though that nurses date down is because that is what they are used to. Okay. So just because you reach a certain social economic status or you come into more monetary value, right? It doesn't mean that you look yourself in the same light and that you're actually ready for moving up in a relationships. Let's explore this a little bit further. So if you're used to dating quote unquote bums, quote unquote people that do illegal activities, then you're going to stick with that until you look at yourself in a different light. Okay. And until you look at yourself in a different light, you're always going to be attracted to these people. All right. And then let me ask you another question. Are you putting yourself in different environments, or do you look at the dating pool differently now that you become a nurse? You know what I'm saying? Because there's people who they don't look at themselves any different, even though they moved up in the world. So that's my little 2 cents on that. Nurses, quote unquote, date down because that is what they are used to. So until they work on themselves, change their mindset, right? Until they evaluate themselves internally, then they're always going to stick to that same dating pool. And that applies for anybody, men, women, etc. So that's my 2 cents. So, nursing is a strange world. Nursing is a strange world. So another story that I have for you guys is a bear breaks into a nursing home. It breaks into a freaking nursing home. And you would think I'm making this up. I'm not making this up. So check this out. Bear breaks into nursing home and nurses fight it off with a Walker and Rice Krispie. Walker and Rice Krispies. Can you believe that? So the article starts off as this. There's never a dull moment in nursing, right? And at the blink of an eye, at St. Andrew Village Retirement Community in Pennsylvania, nurses recently encountered an unexpected guest, a 150-pound black bear. Yes, you read that right. According to local news reports, the bear crashed through a window, likely lured by the scent of dinner, or maybe just curious about the residents' bingo night. Bingo night gets very competitive. If you know, you know. And the staff reacted swiftly and fought off the bear with a walker and lured it away with Rice Krispies, which is crazy. So we get a quote from looks like the lead certified nursing assistant CNA, Charlene Elliott. She says they used a walker to hit the bear towards the door. Which is crazy. So you kind of wonder what's the mindset of this individual? What are the mindset of people who go through these crazy situations? And she described the scene as my mind what's going through my mind was, get this thing out of here. I told them all to shut the doors, get all the doors shut. She said, I was sitting there at our nurse's station and I heard a big crash. I got up and seen it was a bear coming down the hall towards me. No staff, no residents or staff were hurt. Thank God. And the Pennsylvania Game Commission later set up a trap and relocated the bear. So the Game Commission came, relocated the bear. But that is an insane situation. That is insane. I mean, let's just keep it real. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, can you imagine? You're just chilling, you're at your job, and then all of a sudden, boom! A bear comes crashing through the door, and he is sniffing around. He is hungry. He is ready to go. He is ready to go. He is ready to find something to eat. He's hungry. Plus, it's bingo night, so maybe he wanted in on the chips. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wanted in on those bingo chips. But yeah, he was hungry. He wanted the Rice Krispies or whatever he was smelling, dinner, whatever he was smelling. But the first instinct was to grab a walker, hit the bear with the walker, and then had the presence of mind to protect the residents, which that's awesome. Because think about it, you're in fight or flight. In that situation, I can see where a lot of people would flight. They would fly away. But you had the bear in this situation that was not hurt, got a snack, and then the game commission did the right thing. They rescued the bear, got the bear out of there. So if you're listening to this, what would you do? What would you do? I mean, in an emergency situation, you just at your job, minding your business, and a bear comes through. What would you do? How would you react to handle that situation? So if you listen to this, let me know. If you like what you're listening to so far, you're liking the content, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. You can definitely subscribe or donate to the channel. There's links below. Just letting y'all know. Thank you for staying in with your Wakanda RN. If you like the merch, you like the little hat I got on here, you like the shirt, Wakanda RN, make sure you go check out the merchandise. There's links in my link tree. So go check that out. You know what I'm saying? Support your boy. Support your boy. We here. So let's talk about another thing that I've seen recently. Somebody recently had a video about the emergency department and why does it take so long? The emergency department, why does it take so long? So let's pull up this video here. I want y'all to see. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got to get off of that. We already saw that young lady. Oh, what do y'all think? Why do you think it takes so long?
Why is it that when you come to the ER, they take forever to see you? Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Why do you think it's called the ER? Right? It's an emergency. There'd be like 30 doctors out here, 65 fucking nurses, and not one comes see you for like 3 hours.
Hey there.
So, all right. Looks like we're back. Okay. So, sorry for the profanity. So this gentleman, I don't know where he's located, but he's frustrated because he wants to know, why is it taking so long? Like 30 to 60 medical personnel. Yeah, right. When have you ever seen that? You don't even see that in movies. You don't even see that in TV shows. And why is everything taking so long? It's called an emergency department. So because it's an emergency, quote unquote, you should be seen. Now, as a nurse, because that gentleman there was about to start talking, he's a provider, he's a doctor, so he's about to give his perspective. So if you saw the thumbnail or you saw the title of the video, whatever, you can go check it out, listen to that doctor's perspective. But I'm a nurse, so hear from me. First off, my little nursing judgment, my little nursing assessment, my little nursing skills. All right? My nursing senses are tingling. And, sir, you sound and look just fine. You look just fine to be in an emergency department. You don't look sedated like you've had pain medication. You don't even look like you're in pain. You're not even perspiring. You're not even sweating. You don't, there's no signs of worry. There's no signs of panic. Your limbs look intact. You look just fine. Not that I wish harm, but I'm just saying. So, should you even been there in the first place? Let me give you some options, okay? If you're not happy about your emergency room wait, here are some options just for you, my good sir, and anybody else that's listening. You can go to urgent care. Depending on your facility, depending on where you're located, you may or may not have a urgent care. Now, sir, if you are at a place where all these people are present, maybe you're at what's called a trauma level 1, which is the highest level of care for dealing with those type of high acuity injuries. And most places that have a trauma level 1, you're gonna have an acute care, an urgent care somewhere. So you can go to an urgent care. So I don't know, did you go in there for, maybe a snake bite? I don't know where you're located, but maybe a snake bite. Maybe you fell and your arm hurts a little bit. Maybe you just don't feel right. You can go to an urgent care. But also, let me give you another option. You can go to a clinic. Go figure. You can go to a clinic and go see a regular doctor. Do you have a primary care provider? Because let me tell you, there's people I've taken care of in the emergency department, because I used to work for the emergency department for a little bit, and they didn't have a primary care provider. So maybe that's something you might want to invest and look into. Get you a primary care provider. Okay? Don't treat the emergency room like your primary care provider. Go see your primary care provider for primary care provider needs. Okay? So let's get that out the way. And then the pecking order, the level of acuity. Now, if somebody's having a, let's say, MVA, motor vehicle accident, and you come in there because your back's hurting for a few days, who do you think should be seen? Let me give you a hint. It's not your back pain. It's definitely going to be the people that's had a motor vehicle accident, because they may have quote unquote head trauma. And who else knows what's going on with them? Don't let them have any deformities, because depending on the severity of those deformities, they may need to be seen first. All right. And let me give you another little hint here. Just because you call EMS, just because you call 911 does not guarantee that you will be first in line, does not guarantee that you'll be taken back to a room. I've seen people literally call the emergency department for knee pain, and then they get sent to the front. They get sent to the front lobby, and they have to wait in line like everybody else. So make sure it's an actual emergency before you just show up to the emergency department. Emergency rooms are for emergencies only. Let's keep it that way, okay? Those doctors and nurses that you're criticizing, they work very hard. They work very hard, and you should show them more respect. So this video may or may not reach you, but I hope it does. And I hope you get better. I hope you have more awareness. There's other places you can go to get your needs met. That's Wakanda. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit worked up. Maybe we're calling this Worked Up Wakanda. Maybe we're calling this Worked Up Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? Because I am feeling a little bit worked up. I try to be calm, cool, collective. I try to be a cool cucumber, but sometimes it's not always the case. When I see little stuff like that, I'm like, man, it's kind of hard to stay in that place because people are acting out of place. All right? Listen, we have access to Google, ChatGPT. You don't have to stay in ignorance for that long, okay? You don't have to. So, since Wakanda's worked up, I do have an unpopular opinion. I had a guest recently on the podcast, and I asked her unpopular opinion. Here is my unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion is that healthcare content, most of it's pretty bad. Here's what I mean by that. I think that most people within healthcare, because they want to make content about the particular field, end up risking their job, their livelihood, their money, their license, over the fact that they want to make a little bit of content at their place of employment. So if you're listening to this, I'm talking to you if you do this. Why are you violating your hospital's policy procedure by recording at work? And don't make me take the side of companies because I don't feel like they do y'all right anyway. I don't feel like they do y'all right anyway. So you put me in this weird position to where I feel like I'm taking up for them. I'm not trying to, but however, I don't think it's right that you're recording at work just for content. There's a time and place for everything. I'm an Ecclesiastes guy, right? There's a time and place for everything. And so the time and place is not for you to record at work. And I don't know, everything's a copycat, because so and so did it, because this person did it, I can do it too. And that's not always the case. Some of y'all don't remember the beginnings of Nurse Blake or, some of these other nursing content creators. They green screened everything. They green screened so much stuff. And the fact that, they would green screen a hospital or a long-term care facility, wherever. And here you guys are literally going a step above that and just taking things to work. You don't need to take your phone to work to record every single little thing that's going on, bro. I'm not joking. I've seen people record residents. I've seen people in terms of visual and audio. I have seen people literally record themselves during a med pass. I've seen people record themselves in a med room. I've seen people record themselves breaking up medications. And there's some content creators who do these things, but they're doing it in the safety of their own space. Like some people can recreate realistic scenes because they're no longer working as a nurse. I don't know. Some of y'all need to talk to your favorite content creators, but some of them don't work as a nurse anymore. They haven't told you, but they're pretending to work as a nurse. Or maybe the license is active, but they're not currently practicing because they're a full-time content creator. And here you are trying to be like such and such. Because I know how some of y'all are. If I say a name, then you're going to run back to them and make it seem like I'm calling them out. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just pointing out the obvious. There's people who make really good nursing content, really good healthcare content. Now, if you want to be a content creator, just go be a content creator. There's people who are sponsored by brands. There's people who want to sponsor things or whatever. People selling stuff on like TikTok Shop, etc. Being sponsored by Figs, whatever. That's one thing, but it's another thing to literally take your phone to work and record every little single detail that's going on. I've seen people even record whiteboards with patients' names on them. What are we doing? What are we doing? We can't be doing that. So, like there's people who literally do a good job and they make nursing dosage calculations for students. There's people who literally report nursing news and do a good job at that. There's people who make NCLEX content and are good at that. There's people who actually are providing valuable information and providing things that are worthy into this space. But you guys as a whole, according to the numbers and the algorithm, you guys will support people that are recording at work. And you guys in the comments aren't telling them don't record at work. You're encouraging their bad behavior. And guess what? You're going to try to do it too. So why don't you work on providing a service? Why don't you work on providing a product? That way you provide something valuable that other people can use or benefit. Some of you have great knowledge and expertise in your particular specialty, and you could literally give something of value, but instead you're going to do the exact opposite. So that is definitely my unpopular opinion, that most healthcare content is worthless. It is completely worthless. It is completely invaluable, and there's no need for it. There's no space for it. That's my unpopular opinion. And it's oversaturated with terrible content that doesn't do anything for anybody. That is my unpopular opinion. That is my unpopular opinion. So this is my little tidbit. You know what I'm saying? We Wakanda RN, we solo dolo. That's all right though. We're here for it. So thank you for tuning in with your Wakanda RN. You can follow me on all socials at Wakanda RN. So whether that's Instagram, whether that's TikTok, whether that's YouTube, wherever you see this at. Like I said earlier, support your boy. If you're watching this on Apple or Amazon or Spotify, you can find me on all those platforms. So if you listen to this, give me a like, give me some comments, give me some feedback, man. I want your feedback. You know what I'm saying? But also just give your boy support. You know what I'm saying? There's links below. You'll be able to donate. You feel led to donate, I'm here for it. But definitely support the channel. It definitely goes a long way. So thank you for tuning in with your friendly Wakanda RN. I love you guys. I hope you have a blessed week. And I'm out.